Aquaba everyone, I'm Golden Mansa. Every Total War veteran knows that at the start of the campaign, Creative Assembly gives you a softball opening battle. Players are usually given better numbers, superior troops, a good position, and really every available advantage to help them crush the AI. This mechanic is designed to give new players a chance to learn a little bit about the game and to give everyone a quick boost for when they get started. However, if you've grabbed your copy of Total War Troy, and if you've been playing as the Achilles faction, you know that this is far from the case. The way you win the start of the Achilles campaign isn't by going after the low-hanging fruit, but by striking elsewhere. A lot of players have been falling into this common pattern and have been having trouble starting their Achilles campaigns, but in this video, I'm going to show you guys how it's done.
Bring that dude.
When you start off a campaign as Achilles, the faction that you start at war with are the Alopians to your south. Now there are two reasons why you don't want to attack the Alopians right away. The first reason is that if you look at the Alopian army and look at the army you start out with, they have a 3-unit advantage over you. The second reason is because your army is going to be forced to attack the Alopians across this narrow strait here. And if you guys have played past Total War games, you know you never want to attack over a bridge or through a really narrow opening. It's always to your disadvantage. Even if you do attack this opening fight and you do win, there are further reasons why it's not in your best interest to attack the Alopians right away. So let me show you.
Achilles the champion. Hit hard and fast.
Alright, so here we can see that if you are to attack the Alopians with their 6 units versus their 9 units, because of the professionalism that your units bring to the campaign, you're gonna win, but odds are you're gonna get some kind of Cadmean victory. You might use a unit or two, or something like that. This is bad because the next step after defeating this army is taking over your first city over here, and it leaves you in a very bad position to do that. Alternatively, if you don't decide to take on this fight, you can retreat back to your home city. But if you do this and try to build up the troops you'll need to attack this capital, you'll end up in a cold war against the AI trying to outbuild units. So let me show you guys how this typically looks. You go down here, let's say you max out the best units that you can recruit at the time, these 3 spears. We're not going to worry about our economy, and let's just keep running through the turns and see what happens. So now that we have 14 units, let's see if we're strong enough to take on the capital.
Kill them all.
So even though we've recruited to the fullest extent that we could, the AI has managed to keep up, so we're still in no better place to attack the capital than we were before. We're not going to win with this strategy. So when starting our campaign over again and taking another look at our initial situation, we could see that this 9-unit army isn't the only direction we can go. When looking at our cities and looking at how close we are to controlling our first province, we could see that Pherae up here is the last city that we need in order to take control of Phthia. So the only thing standing between us and taking over Pherae is this faction right here, who actually only starts out with a 5-unit army. Here we could see where our expected advantages for a new campaign start to emerge. First off, if we were to attack this faction up here, we notice that they only have a 5-unit army against our 6-unit army. So right off the bat, we can see that we have the size advantage. Secondly, it's safe to assume that we have the professionalism advantage because we get to start out with these heavy units here and these really high tier light units there. Third, we see that there is no positional advantage or disadvantage like there is for the other fight because we'd be facing off against the AI army in this wide open field right here. So if you go ahead and attack this army, Let's see what the difference is.
Send them packing. Moving.
Here we see that the AI will either run away or will take on a fight that's severely skewed in our advantage. This opens us up to take our first town with a minimal amount of bloodshed, which puts us in a better position to build our armies to go assault this city later on in the campaign. Another first turn move that I recommend as the Achilles faction is to run your army to Alos and build up there. From there, I recommend attacking over to Cranon so that you can get your faction more grain, which will allow you to support stronger armies. You could use those stronger armies to attack the Olopians later on in the campaign when you have enough troops to take on a walled settlement. So that's it. 2 really simple tips to get your Achilles campaign started off right. One thing that I'm really enjoying about Total War Troy is that attacking the low-hanging fruit isn't always the best idea, and I hope that this video kind of gives you guys new ideas on how you could get your campaign started without blowing up your armies in the first couple of turns. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in videos to come.